Calling all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
What is going on? Welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers, your semi-weekly excuse for two dudes to come out, talk retro. I'm one of your hosts, Rich. That's Ed, Evercade Effect, Retro Kill Lash 9, the man of many names. What's going on?
Hey!
We've also got some fine folks in the chat already. It's been waiting here nearly, 20 minutes or something like that. We were just talking in the back here, but we got Lloyd R. Jim. What's going on? We got Fan of Fiction. We got Mr. Shua, which is a GTC in the house, because that's 3. That's awesome. We got that guy Bacon Ice Cream Productions. I don't know what he's doing. And then what's going on, man? What's going on? How's it going? You're hanging in there? What do we got? We got all sorts of cool stuff.
Card request.
So we had a starting soon screen, a set start time for people watching for mobile live streaming, something to do. Oh yeah, sure. We could totally do that. Yeah. We should. You know what really we should just do is just hit the button.
Well, okay.
Half the time when we're talking, we're in conversations, and I'm like, we should have just had this on live.
Yeah.
It's not like we're talking top secret stuff.
No, I was gonna say card confession. So sometimes what happens, especially like this, where we haven't been able to do, let's say, a podcast in a free week, then we catch up, then before we know it, it's like 30 minutes. But yeah, we should hit the button sooner. So
Absolutely.
sorry about that. We'll try to
absolutely. Yeah. We're totally we'll totally jump in there.
Yeah.
And doing that. And then to answer the other question, Mr. Shua, how far out is membership to Karg? Well, we can only do one thing, and that's double check the dashboard over here.
I think aren't we at 455?
We are sitting at 456.
456. Oh, cool.
Right now. So that's that's 44 away from somewhat eligibility. I do believe we have to hit another couple things.
I think we're good. Yeah. Once we get to that, then we can do memberships. You guys can give us like super chats, and then we don't get monetized till 1,000. But yeah, no, we do have some plans to do some cool things with membership levels for this channel.
Yep. Yeah, we need some watch hours too. So but that gets back to us going, hey, you know what? We actually have to put out some more stuff on this channel.
I know we keep saying we're gonna do it, but
we gotta get on that.
For example,
we're going.
Like what I need to do, like the Steam Deck behind me, like I went ahead and I upgraded the drive to like 512, and I kind of wanted, and I had to like wait like over like a month for like the screws to come from AliExpress because I was scared to put my other ones back. So yeah, a little, I wanted to kind of talk a little about the ups and downs and some other like retro things in this channel for sure.
Nice.
I know you probably want to get back into the one credit with
Oh yeah. One credit quick look.
Yes, thank you.
That's been woefully out of date. We need to bring that one back with a vengeance. A lot of cool stuff needs to happen.
Yeah,
I was thinking actually for one credit quick look, I was thinking of actually maybe moving the mini to Studio B.
Ooh.
And then like possibly having like guest people like experience the games.
Oh, that would be cool.
I think that would be kind of fun. Have one credit quick look actually be like maybe like not only do I play, but maybe somebody else plays too, and then like we have a conversation and stuff about it. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be.
I want to start doing like interesting and really cool things with all of the content that I'm gonna be making, and that does in fact mean stuff for Karg as well. So.
And I want to do instead of I want to do like some like do more like indie games like I have been like things that like obviously I can't play in Evercade, that type of stuff and all that, just a different different fun things, and maybe could even do I gotta find for the Evercade handhelds I gotta find a way just to put like another camera here, but yeah. Definitely, and I was gonna say, and I think when you get to the 500 level, you can even do shirts. I was like, hell, I need to I need to do a shirt on my own channel, just for nothing else, just so I have a shirt for myself to wear. So yeah, things fall behind. But yeah, appreciate you asking, Mr. Shua. Oh, while you are here, Mr. Shua, I saw that you on my primary channel that you snuck in there and you upgraded to the director level. You didn't, so all
Yeah.
both as of now, both you and Crashon have done that. So as I talked about my member video, for the directors, do get a special shout out. So be sure to. I showed it to Rich and he chuckled. So I think you all will. based on his
Yeah.
reaction, I think you all will like it.
I think it's a good time.
Another.
Yeah,
Another stuff.
heck yeah, man.
But yeah, no, we definitely have some more. It's just sometimes life gets in the way and you get caught up on things.
Mm-hmm.
And like so, and I'll be perfectly honest. Sometimes, like I think about like, oh, I want to do something for this channel, but then, and actually, no, I could say this is Rich's fault because he in fairness, I asked him like what converter box of it. So now it's like I haven't moved my Evercade VS from in here, so like I can literally just walk in, power it on. So, sometimes they'll be like, oh, I should make this video. I'm like, no, I just want to go stream and hang out with you guys. So that's Rich's fault. Because sometimes it's just fun just to do that, and it is nice to get everybody's reaction and participate, kind of like we're doing now. But yeah, I think at some point, because we do want to at least get to 500 subs at some point, 1,000. But yeah, with this channel as well, because yeah, we can do some of those other cool things.
Yeah. For sure,
and all that. Speaking of which, Mr. Shua, sometime we got to coordinate because I know, we want to have you come on here sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll have to.
Yeah,
we'll have to coordinate. We'll have to coordinate that. But Gandalf gets called where he's needed. So this week he was needed here. So. Oh
man, yes, it was. It's been crazy, man. It's been really, really crazy, and it continues to be. It's like I don't even know like why. I mean, I guess it's just like I think it's that Douglas is reaching that age where like there's all sorts of other things that he does like over the weekends and like random nights here and there that I'm like, oh wow, this is really unexpected. I didn't expect to be this busy, but we are. Yeah. It's a great thing. It's awesome to like be hanging out and doing all that cool stuff with them. But but yeah,
I just thought of this. I think, and I can only base it off my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
When you'll start to know that he's starting to kind of become like a young adult or teenager, he'll be like, no, Dad, it's Doug.
Yeah.
The only reason I said it because yes, like legally, like my name is like Edward, but like
right.
He
is all about it right now, though.
Yeah,
like only people try to whack him with the the nickname.
Yeah,
like Dougie or Doug or whatever, and he's like, no, my name is Douglas, and I'm like,
well, see, everyone's like, that's what I was saying. I could relate to some of those multiple names. So when I was a kid, I was always Eddie, and depending some adults. But once I got into 6th grade, like a teacher called me Ed. And I really felt the respect, and then I'm like, I'm known as Ed from now on. And so I don't know, maybe not. Or what's kind of weird too, like, and this like drives my wife nuts. Like for the things where you have to sign yourself in cursive, like I don't know, like I do capital E, capital D because it's only 2 letters. Like when I write my name, I don't know, I just
why not?
Yes,
not right.
It's not proper, but I say you never know with kids when they get older. But that's good though. I'm glad that he corrects people because I think it's important to have like an identity and what you want to, and what you want to be called. So I think that's
for sure.
I think that's great. Oh, so kind of we want to dive into like retro. I just kind of have something. Actually, seeing this thing kind of staring at me here.
Yeah, man.
Gonna have something to talk about. We can see where it goes. Okay, so for a little while, and I'm talking. So okay, take a step back. So when it comes to like handhelds, like let's say you're around the house, right? Like if I'm sitting around, like, and I want to like play the EXP. I'll play like my Steam Deck, and if I'm going to go somewhere, like obviously I'm not going to lug around my Steam Deck or even my EXP unless it's like let's say you're going to get an oil change. If I'm not going to be somewhere for like an hour or like 2 hours, and I will. But there's like that moment where you just want that handheld that you can kind of like put in your pocket, or you just want to kind of grab like you're not looking to like take a bazillion games. Like literally, you just want the game that's in there.
Yeah,
and. So for those of you who don't know, like a few days a week, my kiddo does like Winter Guard, which is the winter version of Color Guard. Like going to those geeky details. If you have a teenager, you'll know. Anyways, my point is like I wait to pick her up from the school, and usually I wait for the 30 minutes. But like I don't know if it's done by design, but there's like a dead spot for mobile data. you like mobile, like you feel like you're on dial up, and you don't want to connect to the school's Wi-Fi because it sucks. So like I need like another like something else to do, and I'm experimenting. Like one time I did bring the Super Pocket, but like here's kind of the dilemma. I don't want to put it like in the OG case because there's like significantly this much more room.
Yeah.
But like I wish like they do sell cases on it. But here's my whole thing with something like that. I don't want a case again where you can bring like 50 games, all your games, because it's meant to be put in your pocket. But at the same time, I don't want to scratch the screen. So what I was going to do, I had a video idea, and I'm kind of getting to where this fits in. Is I was going to take the screen protector that like they sent with the EXPs, for the whole fiasco, but it's made of tempered glass, so I can't just. It's not like I could just like cut it with scissors.
Right.
So I don't. So it's kind of like either the Quest for like the device you can put in your pocket. I might. I don't know. I thought about like looking at Amazon for a few bucks, buying like a cheap plastic one and cutting it. But here's the other thing. So for the longest, kind of where I'm at with portable things. Like if I just want to play Game Boy or anything to play it that's not on the Evercade, yes, I can play it on my my Steam Deck, no doubt. This is still like, as far as like for being portable, is my favorite form factor because you put it in your pocket, you don't have to worry about the screen. Although around the house sometimes just for a pick up and play, like I love just playing like the Taito collection and kind of having that. The downside to this though is like I don't like the stock screen. Like I really like you have to be in better lighting, not like perfect lighting like a Game Boy, but it's not as good. Game Boy Color and Game Boy games look great. So I don't know, like as far as like for the quest of just like, hey, I want to grab this thing, I want to put it in my pocket, I just want to know that it's safe there and I don't want it to fall apart like it can fit in my phone. So that's what I've been messing around with. Like like at some point, maybe either I mod this or I don't know. But you have to like solder one wire. So I don't. It's kind of scary. But you know what I mean? Like there's some times where like you just want to, like for long playing sessions. Yeah, definitely. Like for Evercade, I right now the VS is my favorite, or I don't mind jumping the EXP. And then for something just to pick up and play, like the Super Pocket, or put an IPS screen, you won't regret it. Yeah, I know. See, and that's the other thing. I wasn't sure about screen size, but kind of after playing that and the Super Pocket, a little bit like that's. Thank you for mentioning that, Lloyd Jerry. I'm like it's a little bit better of a picture because like for for one, if I do that, then I can have like the Activision collection will live in here. Otherwise, like right now, I have Super Mario Advance 2, which has like Super Mario 4. But what I love about the Super Mario Advances is that they always have regular Mario Brothers on them. So it's like if you get sick, like the other one like has like Mario 2. So if you get sick of it, then you kind of have that cool jump in arcade game. I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe that might not be something to do, but that's in the back of my mind because I know like other people have said, yeah, you could get like what is it, like the RG35? Like you can get other devices that are the different form factor. But I think between having my Steam Deck and Evercade, I kind of have all that covered. I think for me, it was just like, what if I wanted something literally just to put in my pocket that won't get destroyed? You know what I mean? Like I think like with this, it's sometimes maybe it is the original hardware or not. I don't know, but so that's kind of what I've been toying with. I will say though, on my Steam Deck, I might as well just call it my Stardew Valley machine because that's like the main thing that I've been playing on it. Nice. It's the two games my kiddo is into is Stardew Valley and Roblox, and so we were doing. But sometimes it's kind of the thing where you're just like hanging on the couch. She'll play it on her mobile phone. I'll play it. We could like talk about the game, and it's a very cozy, like chill, like very much like a chill kind of game. But the reason I say I'm calling it a Stardew Valley machine because on the Steam Deck you can just hit a button that puts it into like instant sleep mode. Like it's the best sleep mode on any device, and so. Sometimes I'll like after I'll do that in the game so I can just like pick it back up. Which, and that's the other thing that may sound kind of cheap, but like let's say, I don't know, you're like in the middle of something. I also like the fact this device I can turn it off at any time, and you don't have to worry about like corrupting save states because they don't exist. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's an analog device. Analog device. You don't have to be like because even like an Evercade, like wait a second, let me quit out. Like let me quit out. Really, even emulation of a Steam Deck, it's like you just wouldn't want to shut off the device. You want to quit out of emulators, but at least that you can turn it off and nothing. So that's the thing that always messes with my head. So now I kind of think of I just want something just to grab and to go to play and like very brief like spurts and
yeah.
Like when I did that last two, I was playing like Rastan Saga on what's it's on the Super Pocket and
Yep.
So, and then the other thing I was gonna say too, for me, like when I do leave my house, like I don't bring my prescription glasses with, but I bring like readers. Like there's
Yeah.
it's just the magnification, so it's doable. But I can
Mhm.
also like fit those in my pocket, so I'm like, oh, I can play stuff on the go. And like I think at Sam's you get like a pack of 3 of them for like $20. So if something happens to them, it's fine compared to.
Right.
But anyway, that's kind of what I don't know if you kind of had like something like portability where maybe you want something just to like kill 10 or 20 minutes. Like it's not like and that's it's not for like a full gaming session, but at the same and that's why I get the point of having like cases and all that to bring portable devices.
Mhm.
But I'm like at the same time, I just want something that's there. Like I just need something to kill time. Like you know what I mean? Like just like a time waster.
Yeah.
Mr. Shua says that would make a great video. Yeah. We'll see. Love the GBA SP.
Yeah, the SP it is good. Yeah.
And the battery life. Yeah, I have like
Yeah.
in this I have like the super, what's it called? Like the super bat. I don't know. It's like a $15 battery, but it's like an 1800 like milliamp. I mean, I've been playing it more now, but I maybe only had to like charge it like once a month. But yeah, that's the other thing. Like if I was going like out of town for a week, I probably wouldn't have to worry about charging it. And that's with it being unmodified.
Yeah, I mean it is legendary the way that they made those old handouts. It's pretty crazy to see. In fact, it's one of those things where it's obviously the testament to the Game Boy Advance regular ability to just survive things was also legendary. But yeah, it'd be cool to get my hands on another SP.
What I'm kind of waiting for, because funny playing, they have their Game Boy Color, like FPGA, and it's I think like it's usually it's like I think it retails for 80, but it's like on sale for like 60. So I mean, you have to get the buttons. So basically, it's like the cost of the screen.
Yeah,
and there's some I think there's like some compatibility issues, but you can flash the firm. But it's getting better. But like flash cards are questionable. I'm like, well, if they just did the same thing for a GBA, and it can play carts, then it doesn't have to be like an original. Like, do I wait for that, or I don't know,
right?
Or maybe do I just try to solder the one? Because for that, you literally only have to solder like one wire, and you could get like a really cheap like soldering gun.
No.
Or I just kind of wish I knew somebody. Or there's other services that'll do that, but yeah, that's one of the things like portably. And then we always kind of talk about like what do you have to play physical, what do you have to play virtual, what does it make a difference, to kind of slide in your pocket and all that.
Right.
Although if I do, so I did find a simple solution for the Super Pocket to do more testing. So like if you do want to take it with you, I found like one of my like D&D dice bags, and I'd like just like dump the dice out, and it does fit it. So
nice.
So that might be the thing, or maybe I get like another dice bag. I saw that on Etsy for like the Mayu Mini Game Boy. A lot of other somebody was like they were doing like the cloth kind of like crocheting, and so like it's designed just to kind of fit around it. Like I don't like they did something like, and those are fairly affordable. Like they were like under like $10. So like
well, that's not bad.
Yeah, the dimensions were totally different than the Mayu Mini, but like have something like that. And it's not like all the time where I need to play something, but sometimes there's certain situations where I literally just need like a little bit of a time killer. Around the house, you can grab whatever, but like when you leave the house, and I don't want to carry like all this like bulky stuff. But for sitting down and getting an oil change, maybe I could actually, if this had a bigger screen, I could just bring this with Activision Collection. I don't know, as much as I love Tetris, I don't know. Oh, you know what? That's freaking hilarious, because
awesome.
I have a couple Crown Royal bags, but and I was almost, but like they're really bulky though, right?
Yeah.
But like that's why I was like, a dice, and I thought about, because I'm like, maybe I'll just, and that's what I might do. Maybe I just move my dice into the Crown Royal bag, and
that's pretty good.
But yeah, I don't know if you've kind of thought about like portable devices, just to kind of have, and because it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. Like even let's say having a GBA SP like with a flash cart, right? Like it's something where I just want something I can pick up and I don't want to be like lost in like having a bunch of choices.
Right.
I'm sure I'm not the only person that happens to. And then the other thing is that's neat with this is that you actually have like hard switches for like for volume.
Yeah.
or whatever. So it's like if you were like, if you were just like sitting there chilling on a bunch of people and you just kind of wanted to be like that, and you could just turn it down with the volume off. And I will say that like I like the buttons and everything are like really good. Like I love, like I wish the Super Pocket had this kind of D-pad. I mean, again, I know like it's totally totally different and different costs.
Yeah.
Everything, but yeah, it's kind of like I just been thinking about like for different things like how do I have to play this or not, and then with that, like sometimes in the living room, I'll still fire up the PS4 and I'll play it in the Contra collection, which is kind of fun. So here's what's kind of interesting. Even though like like right now on my Steam Deck, I could play let's say I could play Contra, I could play like any of the Konami games, but I think sometimes if we're just hanging out in the living room because it's already set up there on my PS4, like I'll play, I'll play Contra, and even though like it doesn't fill the full 4:3 aspect ratio unless you do scan lines, like I don't care on a big TV, or I'll jump into like this Pac-Man, or I'll jump into like Gradius. So digital collections can still be kind of neat for that because it's like plug and play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, kind of if you run into that, like on your TV, you have a console, and like, oh, I have 50 million ways to play it, but it's there, and because it's that easy, it's like, doo-doo.
Right. Yeah, I run into those kind of things sometimes, but that's pretty cool. Lloyd lives about an hour south of where they make Crown Royal. That's pretty good.
Here's what's interesting, and I guess like listen. I like whiskey, although apparently even though Crown Royal is like more expensive, like I want to say, is it like 30, like maybe $30 or so, or $35 for a thing, like
something like that.
It's not like the highest end whiskey, but it's supposed to, I think depending on who you ask, it's supposed to be, it's kind of like the Foster's of beer for whiskey, but
it's like and there's different types of it too.
Yeah. But I like it better than Jameson, and it's more expensive, but it's a lot smoother. So I don't know. I really like Crown Royal, but
yeah.
But then again, I don't know with Foster's. Like, listen, it's like I won't touch like any like Miller Lite, Bud. Like I'll dude, like I like, if I'm gonna have a beer, I want it to actually have alcohol in it. I know that like Foster's. I don't know what it like. Rarely I'll have like a craving and get one of those, and I'm sure like in Australia they're laughing like at us Americans, like I'm sure it's like their equivalent to like Bud Light, but I don't know. It's just it's not a great beer, but it's something I'll drink. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't drink.
So
yeah.
So the average, I'm looking it up. So the average is around $30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't drink the funky. Yeah, I rarely don't even drink like once a month. Like sometimes, like it's pretty rare. Tried hard Mountain Dew. No, but Mountain Dew and vodka probably would be good.
That's wild. I mean, that's almost dangerous because it's like a Mountain Dew is like 1.5x caffeine. And then you add like a malt liquor or something like that. Now you're in like. You're in that dangerous Four Loko territory, and you're like, I don't know.
Have you ever had Mountain Dew syrup?
Mountain Dew syrup, just the syrup?
Yes, like the syrup, like way back in the day, as a teenager, like an early teenager. But I don't know where he bought it. But I don't know if it'd be illegal to sell, but it's like just like the pure like syrup and like Mountain Dew before. I mean, like
a restaurant bag.
I think so.
Yeah, but it's the stuff that you hook up to the.
Yes,
yeah.
I don't know where he got it, but like as an adult, probably just like looking at it would hurt my teeth and make my teeth fall out. But I could only it was like it like did the job well. It was like very very sugary. I don't know how I felt. Like I wouldn't dare touch that.
It's pure high fructose corn syrup plus plus the flavoring. It's like, oh man, straight to the veins.
Straight to the source. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not a big drinker anymore, but two of them is good times. Yeah.
For me, it has to be like an occasion, like if it's like someone's birthday party.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
Or going,
Yep.
Or going out someplace. But yeah, it'll be like a secret drinker.
Yeah, one for me, it's even like lighter than that because it's like I'm like totally social in that sense, but it's only like I only drink ciders anymore because it's just like that's just it. That's all my body can handle.
Yeah. So interesting. So yeah, Lloyd Jerry, Fiction, and Mr. Shorts, all y'all are channel members. Question, and I just want because you may not have seen Crashline's comments when I was kind of asking him like for like the suggestions, like like I'm sure like you like to put out like a monthly video that's behind the scenes or whatever.
Mhm.
And Crashline like had a good suggestion. Like I've shown off like my collectibles before, but he said, "Hey, make a video of gonna like go into depth of like why you collect what you do." And I thought about, hey,
That's kind of cool.
yeah, like because I kind of like said, "Hey, this is from this," but maybe like why, like like why do I have like the Street Fighter figure? Like I didn't really go into the backstory, and then I'm like, well, I could also like show you guys like my what loose cards I have for my Game Boy collection because it's only the retro thing.
Right.
But yeah, I was gonna say if you guys have any feedback or think that's a cool idea in the chat.
That's neat. Yeah.
Let me know.
That's
Yeah.
definitely
Because I thought that could be pretty. I'm like, yeah, that could be pretty neat. Like some of those things I could talk about, and like some of those like Family Guy figures. Actually, my wife.
Yeah, I've actually done similar things in the GTC meetings. Like some of the meeting videos are just us. Like, oh hey, here is like this shelf that's part of the set, and it's got a whole bunch of things. And usually I just kind of do a cursory thing, cursory flyby, but actually like explaining why things are there is actually kind of neat too.
Yeah, actually, I can even talk about like that, how like my posters evolved. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I thought, and I think what I might do is use a combination of a tripod and move it around, so I'm not having like holding it, and so people won't get like flashes.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Sure.
We're real high. I was like, we're real high tech. we're real high tech around here.
Nice. Well, speaking of things that are slightly high tech, I've got this stack staring at me and like no time to do anything with it. So I think during this show, I'm going to wind up flipping on over and putting various CDs into the device that I have next to me.
Ooh.
We're going to see what we can do.
Oh, nice.
And I just happened to grab one that is like it hits all sorts of different buttons for me. And it's my copy of Tetris Plus.
Oh, yes!
This is my favorite Tetris game.
And you know what I love? Jailco.
Yes.
Come on, Jailco Arcade Collection 2.
That's why I'm telling you. That's why it's another reason why I own it, because it's like you can't really play it anymore anywhere. You can find it every once in a while. You can find it in a couple places, but
you know what's funny about that?
Let's see if it installs.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an arcade because I was playing like the Game Boy Color version of it.
Yeah, right.
That's cool. Maybe try like something new in the geek sphere, nerd sphere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take this down,
dude. So like yeah, no, there's hold on, let me find. Wonder if the Poly Mega would load up burnt discs.
Yes, the answer is absolutely it does.
You just actually Mad Little Pixel has a good video. Has a good video on that. You just I think he like just recommends you just make sure that you have like valid ISOs and then like use image burn and then burn them at ×4. Like you don't want to do it like like you could do it slower, but yeah, it'll work. Matter of fact, if when Rich tested out like his latest game, like Sega CD game, if it didn't work, that would be an option. So that way he could have it installed.
Yeah, and it, the behind the scenes on that, if that was going to be the case, I would have done it. Dude. If there was one game that I would have went to the dark side and found an ISO somewhere and installed it, just on the simple fact that I could just say, hey, you know what? I've got this case right in front of me, and I've got a disc that doesn't work, but I don't care because I want to play this game. This would have been one.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got
like
the game.
100% would have done.
So since you brought up the magic word Tetris,
yes.
Oh no, it's not. No, there's one. I'm trying to find it. There's one YouTube channel that I follow where he can like if you're interested in like learning about like the competitive like Tetris world and all that. Oh man,
yeah.
Who is that?
That's pretty funny.
Let me do it.
You would just watch the video about Tetris Plus this morning.
Yeah, that's great. Oh. Here he is. Okay. Let me.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, let me share this really quick.
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of like the whole thing with like like Blue Scooty when he like just move some things. When he like
We'll check back in.
broke when he was like the first person to beat the game making a Crash.
Yeah.
But this guy again. No, wait, is it a Game Scout? I think so. Maybe it is a game. Maybe it is a Game Scout. The new Tetris Faster. Okay, hold on a second. Yes. Okay, the Tetris world record just got shattered. Yeah, about Pixelandia. Yeah, this guy, a Game Scout. If you want to know like what's like up to date on 11 million views. But that was the true kill screen. But yeah, if you like want to be up to date like in the competitive Tetris world, I recommend following this guy.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and like people like some of these other people, like I've subscribed to some of their channels, but like I love Tetris, and I like that all competitive Tetris is played like with the Nintendo version, which is great. I'm like, one of the OG ones.
Yeah.
Because for me, like growing up, like the original Tetrises were like the kind of like the real Tetris, but the ones I guess I identify with because that's what I played. But like with Tetris Plus and I like spin-offs because like you're having to like guide the explorer guy.
I love that. I love the little puzzle thing. It's so fun. And he's like, crawling all over the pieces and like all that kind of stuff. It's good. It's a good time. I like it. And it's all about trying to like do whatever you can to like open like door below so you can make him fall through. Yeah. Love it. My friend, he got the game before I did. And it was the only time that I ever remember that like one of like either myself or one of my friends in my friends group got a game, liked the game, and then like they would go to like school or whatever and then come back and then only to have to fight with one of your parents to get the game back.
Oh, wow.
Because my buddy who had gotten this game before me, his mom used to take the PlayStation and the game out of the living room and then into another room. So she had like an office or whatever with a TV in it. So she'd hook it up in there and then like play on break. Because she used to do like work from home and stuff. So he'd come home from school to be looking for his PlayStation. It's like gone. He's like, what happened to my PlayStation? It's like she's in the office just playing Tetris Plus.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
It was awesome.
I was gonna say they didn't sell like 100 million or however many they didn't that game for no reason.
Oh, of course. but it was the uniqueness of Plus that actually got her even more interested because she loved all the little puzzle levels. So
nice.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. We're at 38% on this one, so we're chugging along. Now this disc had been through the wars, so this is another one where I'm like, we'll see if it actually gets through, and then we'll play along with it for a little bit.
Nice.
And then maybe we'll throw something else in there. I don't know what else we got. We got all sorts of fun stuff in here.
The possibilities are endless.
Well, I mean, semi-endless. At least we got a stack, and then there's even more of a stack after here.
So I thought of a question to ask you while we're on the topic of Polymega.
Yeah, man.
Let's say next year. Let's say they were able to come out with a device. Let's say they were able to come out with a handheld. Let's say something like a 5-inch screen, like
sure.
bigger than an EXP, but smaller than a Steam Deck, like maybe the size of like the Aeonea or Ambernic or some of the
sure.
other devices.
Yeah.
And let's say the price point on that. I don't know. Let's say it was maybe like around 250. I'll say under $300, maybe somewhere between the 200 and 250. But let's say it came with, I don't know, some type of special dock or some type of special dock that you could plug into your Polymega, and you could sit it in there, and you could transfer over like your copied games. Like let's say you could put in a micro SD card.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it had one built into it. I don't know. Maybe let's say it had, where you could put one in there, whatever. And you could, like, let's say the whole purpose. Well, actually, something like that. We'll say it's $200 because the whole purpose. Because and let's say it would come with some built-in license games, just kind of like the Polymega. But let's say the whole purpose of it is you can take it, put it in this dock, plug it into your Polymega, and you can transfer over the games that you've ripped, but now you can play them portably.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it would kind of think of it as almost like an EXP with a bigger screen.
Yeah.
And it's the built-in games, but it's the built-in games that like you legally would that type of device be something, let's say, that you'd be interested in, or you're like, you know what, I have so many other ways to play this stuff, I don't need to have that Polymega like portably.
So you know, like, so is it the device is basically take your Polymega with you plus your collection, like or select games that you could fit on a card from your collection?
Let's say you could put like a 512 like micro SD card in it.
Yeah. Yes, I would be interested in something like that.
Okay.
Because if I was going somewhere, like I was going on a trip or something like that, I'm definitely not taking my Polymega with me.
Right, of course.
If we're going on a family vacation, it's just not going in the bag.
Right.
If I had that kind of device and I was in the middle of playing something, like, I don't know, like I was in the middle of my eventual 5th playthrough of Lunar, and I just wanted to play Lunar, and that device let me do that, yes, I'm in.
And I'll say it'll even do one more thing. Either through, let's say, send up a USB crate, or let's say it has wireless over the network.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you choose to sync it, not only will it copy over all the games, it'll also copy over all your SRM files, and it would copy all your save states, and it'll copy over like the later ones. So literally, it would be a portable. And maybe let's say you get like 4 or 5 hours of battery life.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down with that.
Yeah, and that
would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think it would be the $200 price point, because kind of the thing is, it's like, hey, well, I could get other emulation devices for like around that price. This one is going to be a little bit better quality, and not only that, it's actually a copy of the games that I own, and it's plug and play. Like you'd have the exact same you know, you wouldn't have to jack or like stuff would just work like with a Polymega. Yeah,
no, that would definitely be rad. Now, even cooler than that would be if for whatever reason, because of the handheld or whatever, they made like a slot in it or something like that, where you could like, you know, you got another adapter, kind of like the Polymega modules, and you would like slap that into the whatever reader slot
like the analog pocket kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
where
then
you could put
allow that to do.
Oh yeah.
Allow that to do the portable games, and then you could dump the portable games onto the handheld and then sync them back down to the Polymega.
Ooh.
I'd be down with that even more, because then I'd be like, oh sweet. Well, then there's reason to just keep going ham on these Game Gear games, and I will then continue to do that, and then I can then play the Game Gear games on another device.
Dude, so you know what? Even better. Let's say, and man, I was gonna say if that $200 price range, if it was like Game Boy, kind of like the analog pocket, you know, used cartridges and all that. Oh wow, let's catch up on the chat here real quick.
Yeah.
Would like to see some epoxy games. Not familiar with Hocus Pocus. Oh yeah, dude, the Tetris movie. Yes, I have watched that. 100%.
I haven't watched the Tetris movie yet, but DOS Apogee games on the Evercade, yes. And I basically just was give me Commander Kane.
Dude, you need.
I want everything else, Rise of the Triad, all that stuff, but give me Commander Kane.
You need to. Yeah, no, dude, you need to watch the Tetris movie.
Yeah, I really do.
It's incredible, and like the soundtrack is on Spotify, and like there's oh my god, there's like this like awesome like Japanese version of like I Need a Hero. It's like so you can listen to that.
Very cool.
And then I see you, Scruffy. I'm dying to respond to what he says. Wouldn't the Polymega remix kind of, but the mobile doesn't have like a real controllers on a console.
Yeah.
I was gonna say first off, Scruffy, you found me again.
Well, hello.
Yeah, I appreciate it because he popped in my I think the stream I did. What was it like last? It was like last Friday and made my day. I'm so happy you found me and Rich here. And no, all I saw was like summoning salt. I'm like, dude. So yes, I totally heard like me and Rich like we like love like summoning salt.
Summoning salt's awesome.
I like nerd out. One of my favorite.
We literally text each other when he drops the video.
Yes. Like put it this okay, here's an idea of how excited I get of summoning salt. Maybe the only YouTuber like when I get like new Evercade carts like in the mail, and I get like that notification from summoning salt, I get just as excited. Like I kid you not, like even something like that one documentary he did like on the Lego Lego like Star Wars games. Like I haven't really played those. I'm like with that, but like how he breaks it down. Like since watching him, like you really understand like speed running. It's like the most awesome like geeky thing if you just want to totally like nerd out.
Yes.
Matter of fact, like I went back and I think Rich has done this, like watch like all of his like older stuff. I mean, there's a reason why this guy gets like over like 1 million. Like his videos get like over 1 million to 2 million views.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have like 2 million subs? Or I don't know. He's
it's absurd.
Yeah,
he's up there, but he deserves it because he puts the effort in. He gets the community involved.
Yes,
and he's got great presentation.
Yes,
just great presentation.
And he has a good voice. Like his voice is kind of soothing. But the thing that's great in the latest video for Mike Tyson's Punch Out, like for all of you, like when he did that on himself, breaking.
Oh the record. That's. I mean, you knew that was where it was going, right? Because he's been working on his alt channel for years. So yeah, it's very, very cool.
The one thing that I love about the speedrunning community, is that and like just like you guys have to see that video. But let me put things in perspective. Like they were getting down trying to beat the world record, and he was on a video where he was on course to do that. And the two guys, like he was trying to beat like these two guys' world records that were watching him live on stream and cheering him on.
Yes.
Compared to like a lot of like other sports and like a lot of other things where like, let's just say there's like so much hatred, negativity, or people would want them to feel like the speedrunning community is the opposite of that. And I love that. Like, it's like it's all like, it's about sharing information. Like somebody will be like, oh, here's a new technique that I learned, or I did an automated toss and I found out that yes, the computer can do this. Can a human replicate? Like it's all about sharing. Oh my god! So
it's cool. It's very, very cool.
Ooh. Funny that you mentioned we were just talking about the Polymega. And
funny you mentioned it. I was during this actual stream, I just put this into my base unit to see if it installed, and the result was yes.
Because
yes, it does install.
I was going to say no pun intended, Scruffy, but yeah, his disc was looking a little bit scruffy, so he wanted.
It is actually scratched up to like no end. Here, let me see if I can go back here. I wanted to show you guys because it's not even like the lunar disc that had a little bit of scratches. Like this one,
you got your solo. Ooh, dear God!
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
You're talking about something that's a little scruffy looking. Come on. Like it was rough, man.
Yeah.
And it went in there. I mean, I'm gonna hit play and see if it actually does.
Yeah.
Play, but let's see.
It should since a copy, but that's the great thing with the Polymega, you can preserve your games like that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. So
I love that emoji. Nice coaster.
Nice coaster, yeah. Yeah, well that coaster got that game data on the thing. Boom. We're loading. You know.
There we go. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I can StreamYard too.
Yeah, man.
You know what I love about the group around these guys right now? No gatekeep. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
No shame. Yeah, no, dude. Exactly. Yeah, we don't. That's the one thing we don't do.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
There's no time for any of that. Yeah, let me turn this down a little bit.
So here's the cool thing. The base unit, you can play Sega CD, Neo Geo, PS1, Sega Saturn, TurboGrafx, PC Engine. Did I cover them all, Rich?
Yes. Yeah. So basically every CD game system, 16 and 32-bit era, and then with like minor exceptions.
Yeah.
That's the base unit, and then there's 5 more units: the power module that does NES, the super module that does SNES, the mega module that does Genesis, the turbo module that does TurboGrafx 16, and I think it does card as well, but I think it might just be the carts, and then the ultra module, which is the one. It's the only other module that I have, Scruffy, is the ultra module, and it does of course, Nintendo 64, which is the newest one that they added.
Yeah.
And GameCube, no, it doesn't do GameCube.
Yeah.
So, but it's
it does Saturn though, so that's pretty cool.
It does do Saturn, which is great. So, yeah, I mean, it's awesome, man.
Dude, this port might be better than the arcade because you have like
there's so many modes in this one. It's just really, really good.
I'm gonna download that and play that and emulate it. That's super convenient. I saw 3 or 4 modules on my hunt a while back. Cool. You don't have any of the extra modules yet, but you're planning on getting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna wind up with them all. But the next one I'm probably gonna get is the turbo module because I've never played or owned like physical in a house somewhere TurboGrafx 16.
Ooh.
I've played them on emulator and all that kind of stuff. If eventually they wind up coming on Evercade or whatever, I'm obviously playing them on there as well. But I've never actually I've never been like somewhere where it's like, oh yeah, this person has a TurboGrafx 16, we're gonna play. I've seen it in somebody's house, but we never like sat there and played. So
I've only played Turbo Express, but not.
Yeah.
Of the third one of the Wonder Boys, but looking like that rich kid in school back in the day. The only issue that I have, maybe it isn't as bad on a bigger screen. The split screen. Okay, that's not too bad. The split screen.
Oh yeah, no, it's this is good times.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely, yeah. He won't regret, PC Engine or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other neat thing too is like Neo Geo CD games are still relatively like cheap.
Yep.
And like the loading times on those would be like instant. Which, you know what? So here's what's a shame about the Neo Geo CD. I can't remember what YouTuber, but they showed like a comparison of I'm sure there's several of these videos floating around, like the original Neo Geo CD where took let's say if it took like 30 seconds or something, like forever to load a game. The second one, the CD2X or whatever, that was only released in Japan, it really sped up the load time to the point where it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was about maybe the speed of like any other like CD device. So it's a shame.
Yeah.
Let me. There we go. You move that banner. You can see the little guy. It's like an NES, but graphically a step up. Yeah. No, PC Engine is cool. That was like one of those legendary systems. Always see growing up as a kid, like in the back of a magazine, and like maybe I once I might have like seen it like in a store, like growing up like in Iowa City or someplace. But here's the problem. I mean, this is kind of like I'm sure maybe I'm not the only one unique in this in the gaming culture. I remember at one point in time maybe being interested, and some people like, no, why would you want that? Super Nintendo's better. And it actually, at least I think in my circle group, like it was, it actually would have like been looked down upon, which is a shame. But like, I really got into it like in the '90s, like emulation, when you could like playing like Jackie Chan and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Right.
Yeah, Neo Geo is very obtainable versus Neo Geo AS is yeah. See, that's the thing. You could probably go for like a Japanese set of like Neo Geo CD.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that because I don't know how many. I don't know if there was only 50 games. How many Neo Geo? Let's see.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna find out how many Neo Geo CD games.
Oh no.
Oh. According to Moby, there's 101 video games in Neo Geo CD. They were released between 1994 and 2021. Oh, okay. Still though, 101. Okay, that's not as. Yeah, you got your King of Fighters. Oh, dude, the great thing about that, especially for owning like an original copy, if you want to own something like Polestar, which is a great like shooter.
Yeah.
Without having to mortgage your house for a new car, you could actually. And they got your Fatal Furies. They got the Double. Yeah, there's a lot. Actually, I'm looking at this list here. Oh yeah, Magician Lord. I love the main theme song to that. I have. What's funny, like I have that like on my favorite, like my Spotify. My Spotify is all over the place. It's a mixture of things like there's some rock, there's some like video game music, some like video game music, a lot of different dance, and actually like my daughter introduced me to music. I don't know if it's really new. It's called like electro swing. So it's like take like EDM and like swing and like there you go. So it's like my Spotify list is like all over the place.
That's pretty wild.
Actually, I think like it's just I don't know. I always like just to have like music around, like hard pressed. Like if I had to, I could just keep like Netflix.
Yeah.
But Spotify, I have to pay for. Unlike like YouTube videos, like I can tolerate commercials. Even like Hulu, we have the thing where there's like that's fine, especially like with YouTubers. I know it's supporting them. Wink, wink. But the thing though that like if you try the free version of Spotify, like videos but music, it's so annoying because when you're in the like you're like getting in a groove listening to songs, and you have this commercial that just totally like destroys your experience, and you only get like limited skips. So just the fact that to know that basically I can listen to anything that I want at my fingertips is great.
Yeah.
We've kind of talked about this before. So for me, I'm not one of those people that like, well, I respect people who collect, let's say like vinyl and other things. For me, definitely, like I embrace digital. Like I want that that convenience.
Yeah.
Of kind of doing that. CDR packs come with 100 discs. Yeah, actually, I still have. I have like half a spindle of CDRs that I found like the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a CD burner, but for like, dude, like under $30, you can get like external USB CD burners off of Amazon, so they're not that expensive.
Yeah, no, they're cheap now.
Anyone pick up any of the limited edition Evercades for a couple of weeks ago?
I did not, as I have all of them.
Yeah, you already have them. I know in the last Evercast, I forget some people did, but like me, like no.
Yeah, there were some people that were looking for it, but yeah, I don't. The only thing that surprised me was the fact that the people that really wanted those things, they like jumped all over the two that were, I guess the oldest, or the like the one that was the I mean, obviously the Duke was going to go, but I was surprised that they had any of the VS at all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So technically, Mr. Shua, we have to wait another 8 minutes. No, the joke is that after like an hour, we can talk about like this could be like Evercast 2, and then like an Evercast after an hour. No, he just says I'm new to the whole Evercade thing, limited edition console. So yeah, so typically like what Blaze has done. So like for example, like the like the EXP, the black one behind me. That one, as far as like functionality, it's the exact same. Let's say is like the white EXP, except it's black. So typically like what they'll do, and they did the same thing with the VS, the standard white edition, which you could get for like with one or two games. So typically what they'll do like with the like at least with the black versions, like with the VS, they'll bundle them with like different carts. So it's kind of like you get and like you'll get like kind of like that poster behind me. You'll get like little cards and like a limited edition. So you'll get like little extra things, and then usually even with like buying it in British pounds, usually you get like a little bit cheaper of a deal or equal to the price than buying everything else. But yeah, or like the Duke Nukem, they did a different skin. You get both Duke carts, and you get like a unique theme. So yeah, they'll do these limited editions where they'll do that, which is fine because hey, it's a quick way for Blaze to get some extra money. It makes people happy who kind of want that extra use. Checking through. Oh, dude.
I think I'm putting it.
So something we have to talk about for a second so here's and that Jalico was a great. So here's what I love.
Yeah.
With the PS1 era started to do things like Tekken 3, games like that. In my opinion, those games were like better than the arcade. Because I want to say like the graphics were about the same. Maybe they were a tiny bit better in the arcade, but they added all these extra modes.
Yes,
for replayability, like Dreamcast, like Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast. Oh my god, that had so many extra modes
things.
and unlockables.
Tekken 3 had the most like add-ons. There was Tekken
Yeah.
Gold, there was Tekken Force, there was like all sorts of other crazy stuff. There was like 18 different modes that you could play in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I hope maybe something maybe someday we're gonna see some of those Tekken games. Like if we get like a Namco
Oh, if we get a Namco
arcade.
arcade,
Yeah.
yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. I'll take the arcade version. If if only. But yeah. So yeah.
I
In
think
short,
that's the only way you would be able to get it because
yeah.
I'm imagining the PlayStation version of Tekken 3 might be something that you'd have to dual license because
Oh
Sony might have
yeah.
paid for those extra features.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Shua, it's on Fun Stock, those
Yeah.
black EXPs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you get started, because for me, since I had the VS, I'm like, well, no, I have to have that one to match it. It just kind of depends. I would just say if you look at it and it kind of moves you that you want it, then that's kind of what it is. Like a lot of people have the interest in the Duke Nukem one. For me, I didn't necessarily, but that's okay. That doesn't mean But I'm glad that that's one of those things that made me happy that was there for the community.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's neat that they did like for a while, like the purple one had like a little bit better of a screen than like the white Evercade, and then you'll see there's the OG one that has like a black face, but it's a red backing, and it looks kind of weird as opposed to being all black. I don't know. I don't. It's kind of ugly in my opinion. But if you want to collect them all, like I think Pete has one.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's another kind of like PSA. If you get like an older of like the OG Evercades, depending because there was a cutoff where they improved the diagonals to where that doesn't break anymore.
Yeah.
So if you do get the OG black one, I wouldn't play it. Like that's a collectible, right? Because if that thing breaks and it's like it'd still be a display piece. Although I will say though, sometimes and if I find a good deal on one at some point, I might get like the OG VS because it has like the same color scheme as a Nintendo.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, for me it'd be more of a convenience to have two of them. Like I don't actually like need it since I have like the EXP. If I didn't have the EXP, definitely.
I would go for the extra VS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that I have the Duke and the other one, technically there is another. It's on permanent loan to the school I work in, but I do have a base model. And it does look cool. I will say that.
Yeah.
So how would you guys feel?
This is a good question.
How would you guys feel about an Evercade that was the size of a Steam Deck? I don't know. I mean, so I would feel a whole lot better about this if Sean this week, so like spoilers for Evercast, I'm sure, but if Sean this week during the interview that he had with Time Extension said, like, he hinted at it pretty strongly, but if that hint was something that was like, yeah, it's not only something that we're working on, but it's actually possible, then yes, I would want one of those devices. Yeah,
but I think so. Like 400. Well, so here's the thing. I don't know if I want like one necessarily. I don't like as big, even though like I really like the screen. And I think if you had one that had like a 5-inch screen, like if you had one like in the middle with a little bit better, but I think the price point, like it can't be over $200 because then I think then it gets kind of silly.
Yeah.
I think I think when we like I even think like the EXP like at 130, like I don't know, maybe 150. I don't know. I think maybe it needs to be like closer to like 150 with one game because I think once you get up there then a little bit more, then it's like.
Well, it depends on what it. So did you read the interview?
No, I didn't even know there was an interview with a.
Oh, okay. So then I might be bringing to the table some news to the Evercast.
Yes.
But yeah, there was an interview this week by Time Extension. They interviewed Sean Cleaver. And he said in the interview, because they asked him directly, so what's up with, N64, right? Because obviously we were having that kind of conversation as to whether or not it was an N64 game and whether or not anyone at Blaze was going to acknowledge the fact that they were going to say the words Nintendo on anywhere public, and not only did he not flinch, but did directly mention, yeah, we worked with the team that made Glover, and we're like we're not shying away from the fact that it is actually an N64 game, which I think is awesome and very cool. And they're saying, hey, you know what, this is something that we're actively trying to bring and all that kind of stuff. And as a throwaway line, the interviewer was like, oh, so what about what about something like Dreamcast? And the thing that he says could just as easily have been, oh, well, it'd be really nice, but our hardware doesn't support that. But instead, he just says, never say never, which is a classic Sean line. However, you don't say never if you're not thinking about implementing things that are above Nintendo 64. And if they're thinking that, then that would automatically mean, because you and I both know, like, there's just no way on current hardware without some supreme wizardry that stuff's working. So you now know, hey, maybe they're working on something else, Yeah.
No, I'm glad that I was saying that I was right, because they said they had the original source code, and then they used to, and see, and that's kind of the thing, is that if you have the original source code, you can pretty much port anything over.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of what I was saying. Like and that's what I was. It's great though that it's still emulated, and that they made tweaks to it. Now that's what I was saying, that like if there was Dreamcast or PS2, that might have to be a complete kind of like remaster, like what they did with Duke, but they would take a lot of time. I think what's great, like, to your point, Richard, they can find games where they can get the license and the source code, and then they can do this. Like that's we could see, depending, we could see a Dreamcast game. How tricky? Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah. I like the fact that they said that they put Katie in the game too.
Yeah. See, this is what I want them to do. I don't want them just to throw hardware at something. I want it's like I'm glad they're using what they have. This is what you're saying. Never say never.
The tools have been designed to be architecture abstract, so they won't support a specific system. They can be used to bring similar systems as well. All develop. Depends on what games are available to license and being at the right time. But they're still there are hardware requirements in order to run those games, and he knows that. But there's just he doesn't say. You don't say never, and the fact that you're building a pipeline in order to support these games in the future if the licensing is available to you. If you're not already thinking about, all right, well, you have to get over the technological hurdle. He doesn't care about the technological hurdle because he knows that if he can get the licenses and he can get those games out, then there's going to be another piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Just that's what's going to happen, because that's the buy-in. The buy-in for us is, well, if you want to play these games, then buy this extra piece of hardware. It's going to be able to support it, which is no problem. Now, I know they did the big reset with EXP and VS, and they wanted to level the playing field from the OG to the EXP. But remember, they legacied the OG handheld in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the VS. So, not to say that it's going to happen, but if it happens in year 3 or year 4, it's not going to be a big deal, because they're just iterating. They're just iterating on the cycle at that point.
That's what that's what I was going to say. I have mixed feelings, to where I think right now it's to come out too early, because I feel like they can still do more with the current hardware as far as the firmware and
100%
and everything. And I want that to be stabilized first.
Yep.
Now, the question will be so here's kind of the thing. Let's say 2026 or 2027, they come out with a VS2.
Sure.
And then here's kind of my only issues that I have with that. If, let's say, we get Dreamcast or some of these other games, where I have mixed feelings is it's kind of crappy if you could only it'll be backwards compatible with all the other Evercade carts, but let's say you could only play that on the VS2, the Dream. You know what I mean?
Right. That's the thing is, you would want to keep the ecosystem whole as long as you possibly could, which is what I would say. There's tons of room to continue to keep putting the games out that are going to be only supported by a VS or an EXP now, and I think there's no reason to not continue to do that. But like I said, if the opportunity strikes, and like Sean said in the interview, if the opportunity presents itself and the door's open, they're not going to just close the door because, well, you know what, we're dedicated to that whole, second gen through 32-bit scene. We don't want to push our, our consumer base away. So maybe next time. No, they're going to walk through that door. So it would, as consumers, I guess, and as fans of Blaze, I think we need to be prepared for decisions like that. You know what I mean? Because they would absolutely make that decision if it meant broadening the fan base.
Yeah, definitely. And they would have to have more of those licenses set up. But what would be more amazing is if they can continue to do like what they did with the Glover, like get the source code, like do that with the Dreamcast game, so they could still bring those games to the current ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really impressive because so for me, like, well, I do like Dreamcast and PS2. I love like the 8-bit and 16-bit, and I would just like you said, there's so many more games. Like I would like to see a lot more arcade.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of those games, maybe they could get the arcade. I just don't want us to miss out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I'm like, give us like maybe another 2 or 3 years. Give it a little more time to get more.
Mm-hmm.
If Blaze to meet their quota, if they need to continue to come out with other variants or come out with super pockets, I'm all for that.
Right.
I just don't want to miss out. Now the question, I hope that they do space it out. Like I hope the next gen system, I hope it would be like a VS.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. Because if they did come out with the VS and the handheld, I don't think I would buy both of them again right away. You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact I would definitely. I'm going to buy the con because I want to be able to stream it and I want to be able to hook it to a TV. Will I maybe get the portable version of it? Maybe at some point, but I know I won't be in a rush right away.
Right.
So it just kind of depends. But I think it is good. But I love what they're doing. Like. Well, I think they found a niche with get more. I can't like when I saw Pete playing Glover on Polymega, I was like, dude, this actually looks like a good. Because there are like a handful of good N64 games. Like Sin and Punishment was a Japanese shooter.
Yep, 100%.
If they can kind of go after more of those like odd good games and port those over as is, like that would be fantastic.
Yep.
Oh, thank you so much for joining, Lord JRM.
Awesome, good to see you, man.
Yeah. So that's all. And the only other thing too is I would hate. Well, I think that stuff would be cool. What I really enjoy is seeing the arcade and seeing like the indie stuff.
Yep.
Like and having like the Duke remaster. That's all. Kind of like, do I dare say, kind of like what modern consoles is kind of like enabled you to do all kinds of cool things with AAA games, but like that takes away from some of the creativity. That's all. That's kind of my main concern. I would just kind of hate that, for that to happen here.
Yep.
Because I do agree with I think what Pete said in an Evercast back is like, yeah, for me to buy like another Evercade like a handheld console, they got to do something else special. Right. I think I kind of agree with him on that because it's
round one.
And that's why I said, and that's why like the bigger screen it's what she said, it's big enough. You know what I mean? Like would it be cool to have a 5-inch screen? But it's like, what else? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard to say because then it's kind of like, well, when I go somewhere. Am I going to bring that over my Steam Deck, or would I rather bring my Steam Deck in a Super Pocket? You know what I mean? It's because then it's about like portability and for playing stuff around the house. Kind of ties when we talked about earlier playing stuff around the house. So I don't know. I guess the only other kind of maybe me being paranoid is that, and I think Blaze, hopefully they're aware when they do come out the new console, they just have to be careful that they don't invest too much R&D. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say if they did, like I don't want them to pull a Nintendo, but without Nintendo's money. Like kind of like the same, like kind of like how the Wii U kind of like how that was an example of a system that kind of suffered that fate where it was marketed weird. Like I wasn't even sure, is this an add-on? Is it another console? Like that's all. I would hate for them to kind of do that. And I think that's why they smartly played it safe with the reskins of the stuff that they know we'll buy. So that's kind of my soapbox. And I guess the other thing is too, technically, like if I want to play, let's say Saturn, PS2, and all that other, kind of like what you're doing. I mean, yes, you own the physical media, but I can there's other devices like a Steam Deck and there's other handhelds like A and Neos. So that's the thing. Like around the $200 price range, there's other devices that can do all that. Yes, it's not the physical cards, but that's why. Blaze has to be careful with the cost. Like everything is priced right now. It's at a good point. But if it's a little bit more expensive, then it's kind of like then you have to decide like why. You know, that's kind of the only. Wii U could have been great with a better. Yeah, exactly. No, and that's kind of the.
I loved that system, dude. It was awesome.
I never owned a Wii U.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved my Wii U. I got it on launch day. And I was like so surprised that people weren't really getting into it. And I was like, was it really just about the name? And I guess it was. But
yes,
man, they could have just done so many. They could have done so much with it.
It was the same thing with the GameCube, right? Like the fact that like geeks, like Nick the Geek Historian did. He did a great video on that where it was kind of like it was like the color purple and it had a handle and it was just like what is it? It was kind of weird and the controllers were like a little bit weird. And that's the other thing I kind of feel like after Super Nintendo just went weird with the control. Like they tried all different types of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Round 1.
Hey, Brian F. There definitely won't be a Switch U as a sequel. Yeah, no kidding. They won't use that.
No.
And what's funny, like what's interesting here? Okay, what's interesting about Nintendo is I kind of like something like the Switch, let's say, and even like the Wii U, like some of these things are kind of more gimmicky than functionality.
Right.
And kind of what's funny, like. It's kind of like I kind of feel like the fact that a Wii, let's say, a Switch is portable. It's kind of more the advertisements because I always hear a lot of people say that they play the Switch docked, like 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's kind of like and we'll see what the next. I wonder if Nintendo will have like cheaper versions of like a console, like or maybe will they keep the same things to set the standard? Because there was a period of time where you had like your Game Boy Advance and your 3DS, and those did really well, and those were handheld only. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see, but yeah, this thing just looks gorgeous. See, like this is okay. So this is an example of like 3D graphics that I think still hold up to this day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's not like okay, like if I take my nostalgia glasses off for Final Fantasy VII, like you can see the mouths, you can see the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy VII, like with some of the characters, like you just have to you put your nostalgia glasses on and you overlook that. But this looks like you can see defined features and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the modeling on this was awesome.
Yeah.
And back in the day, like when you played this in the arcade, this is how it looked in the arcade.
Yeah. Exactly. Versus I'm saying like you put in the original Tomb Raider and you're like, wow, like that looks kind of rough. You know what I mean? Or like maybe even like the original Resident Evil, but like this, yeah.
Yep.
I never played my Switch in solo dock mode, only multiplayer Mario Party. Yeah, so it's... And then there's the whole thing with the Joy-Con. Like, if I were to ever get a Switch, it would be a Switch-like. I like having everything connected. But yeah, just, it is kind of interesting, the evolution of things. The one thing that, with Nintendo being Nintendo, I would not be surprised now if there's going to be no backwards compatibility for Switch 1 games.
Oh man, that would be killer. People would flip out.
I think I know why. Because if you look at let's say Nintendo's history, like the Wii was able to be hacked because of the GameCube. Like usually, like devices are able to be hacked because of the pre-compatibility compatibility. It's much easier,
right?
And kind of like with the Switch 1, or I guess what I call the Switch 1. But that new that flash card that's come out and all that. I think Nintendo doesn't want to. I don't think they want to take any chances. Plus, for them, they're like, we'll make more money. Like rebuy all your games on the Switch 2. So it's like, yeah. What I could. So this would be funny. Here's what I could see Nintendo totally doing. I could see them saying your digital games that you have from the store for the Switch 1, you can play on the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
It won't affect physical cards because that's something that Nintendo would do. But you have to use the Switch 2 physical cards. But then that way people can still bring their digital collections. They wouldn't have to spend money. I don't know. I can see them doing that. Actually, I'm going to call that. You won't be able to use your physical Switch 1 cards, but but if anything, you may be able to use your online games.
Yeah.
Switch Ultra. Oh, so actually here was another kick in the nuts that Nintendo, and I only know this from watching Mad Little Pixels videos. And what I like is he'll throw up the different videos and he'll compare the different, because he always says here's the online service we rent games, because that's what it is, right? You still can't buy the games digitally, which is nuts. But anyways, What you can do is you can play the different regions. Like you can because you can have like a US Switch account, a Japanese account, and it doesn't cost anything else extra. What he'll do is he'll compare like the latest games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the US we got like a Rare, like the company Rare. It was a Microsoft game. I forget what it was. I'd never heard of it.
No, there was a Rare game.
Or was it maybe it was a Rare game, but
it was Battletoads.
there was something else after. Yeah, okay. But like this month, you know what? So in Japan, they got like Mother 3. But you know what would have been awesome? And this is just kind of like the laziness of Nintendo, which would have been great. What I think that they should have done, and what really would have blown everyone away, if they also like translated it for the US version.
Well, that would have cost money.
I know.
So
I know, Nintendo. I know.
You know,
or even if they got permission to use a fan. My whole thing is that get permission, pay somebody to use the fan translation, because you can buy like bootleg carts of that. You
can, but do you think Nintendo is going to pay for a fan translation where they could do it themselves?
No, but
that's the whole thing. Like, like they own the property. So it's either do it right or don't do it at all. And currently they're don't do it at all.
Yeah, But I'm just saying, like no, that's why I said Blaze does what Nintendo don't. Like, Blaze, they could have been lazy about it and just released like Duke 1 and 2 as was, and it still would have been fun. But the fact that it was like widescreen and that the color, the remaster and the music, like it was, I love that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So it's just let's see. Mr. Shua, I think when it comes to modern games, I'm done with new consoles. If 8-bit, 120-bit, sign me up. If not, I'm not buying a PS6 or Xbox 9 or a 3. Yeah,
9 3/4.
9 3/4. Yeah, dude. No, I hear you. It's like my PS4. I will knock on wood, like probably never get rid of that. Even though I mainly use it to play retro games. And my daughter plays like The Sims and all that. That would be one of those things where several years from one day when after graduating college and she has her own place, if she showed an interest and wanted to take that with her, then I would let her do that. But then I would probably check in, hey, do you still play the PS4? Because if not, I'm taking it. If not, I'm taking it back. But yeah, I hear you. It's kind of one of those things. No, I take it. There's one exception where I would get rid of it. Say get rid of it because it's the Call of Duty edition. Call of Duty. It's like camouflaged with like like the game. I think going back a few years, we got like a good deal from Sam's. That's why I got it. But anyways, I would trade that. I would like, if that's like a collectible and there's like a crazy price on that, and I can use some of the money or use that to buy like some other like gaming console or retro thing, then I would do it. I would reinvest it back in, kind of like what I did with but that would be the only way. Although the thing that I hate though is that it's like then I lose access to all those like digital games,
Yeah.
Even though I have a million ways to play Miss Pac-Man. Actually, Richard kind of talking about it before the show. I was just like telling him like, hey, even though like Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man, I have like 5 different ways I can play it, either on emulation or through the legit collection. Sometimes in the living room, I'll fire it up. Same with like the Konami Arcade or Contra. And those versions of Contra, like you can't have it fit the full 4:3 screen unless you want scan lines. But like on a 55-inch TV, who cares? But anyways, so because of there is something to the plug and play. I mean, hell, that's one of the things we love about Evercade. That's what's great about the Polymega. I mean, you pop in the cart, or same Polymega, you copy in the disc, you let it copy once, and then you're done. Then you never have to do anything. All the buttons are mapped. It's unless you delete it. That's
just hit the button and play, man.
Yeah. So there is something to that, because even like with EMU Deck, there was a little bit of a, like a little bit of setup that I had to do, and of course you do have to source the ROMs and all that. So I think there definitely is something where the plug and play is important. I'm not saying that I don't like tinkering. I mean, my Steam Deck, if I never played a game, the first thing I do is that's when I kind of become like Crow a little bit, where I'll be like, okay, this game I probably only needs 4 or 5 watts. I'm like, how much battery life do I get? Okay, but then once I set it, then I don't have to kind of touch that again, because I just kind of have this weird thing where even around my house, I don't like to play tethered. I don't know if it's just like the freedom of being able to move around, but That is, you know what? One and when I, kind of going back to saying more things that Blaze can do, I would like to see them implement like a real like sleep mode in the EXP.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, which would be nice because even like here's the thing, right? Like even though like, you could argue that there's save states, but then you have to like to go to turn it off. Like that maybe takes another 10 or 15 seconds, and then turning it back on. Like even like the Steam Deck, like from powered on, maybe takes, it feels like a minute or two, but it's like 30 seconds. But the thing that's like, here's what I kind of want to have on the EXP that I can do with the Steam Deck. It's like if like my wife or daughter, someone like needs me to do something to my attention, I can just pause my game. Well, technically I could just I can like pause my game, tap a button, and then like it instantly goes into instantly goes into sleep. I don't have to worry about it. I set it down. I go back to what I'm doing. I press it and it resumes. Now I understand the Steam Deck is a more expensive device, but having like that feature where you can instantly suspend it and then it hardly uses any battery. Like I'm maybe like if I leave it in suspension for a whole day, like a full like 8 or so, maybe 24 hours, it'll use like 10%. So it's not, it's pretty good. So I know Blaze has it now where the screen turns off, but that doesn't really save it as much power. Like I'd like something where you can't accidentally power it on. Kind of like I love like in the Super Pocket, we have like that functionality.
Yeah.
Where we can just like slap the button. Do kind of something like that where you could have some sleep mode and then have it a little bit more difficult to turn on. And I think that would add like a lot.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just you kind of need to do something, and then if you have to stop what you're like, I don't know, like because it's to better explain. Like sometimes you don't know if you're just going to step away for 1 minute or step away for like an hour, and like for me, like I really just don't want to leave a device there like draining a battery. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's. Yeah, Yoshimitsu. I think Yoshimitsu was also in Soul Calibur.
Yes, he originated in Tekken, but yes, Calibur.
At the time, though, I felt like that was like Sega's like crowning achievement was Soul Calibur because like it was like maybe
Soul Calibur was great.
Yeah, one of the best looking games on the console, and then
yeah, the Power doesn't currently.
Yeah,
but even they've said never say never too. So
yeah, it's one of those things where so here's the thing: the fact that it can do Saturn, I think hardware wise, it's probably capable. It's just it would require R&D for the to tune in the emulator and all that.
Yeah, and then obviously they need the monies.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hey Hachi.
Yeah, this is great watching you play. So what I kind of liked about like Tekken and the Soul Calibur games, even though like characters have special moves, I kind of feel like it was designed with a lot less of a learning curve. Like I kind of feel like you can just go in and you can press buttons, and it's more about your blocks and moving out of the way.
Yes.
versus like Street Fighter is like all about the special moves. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you knew the special moves or the combos, you could do crazy things.
Yeah,
like Heihachi is owning me right now, but but yeah, you can get into like a rhythm and really kind of control the sense of the match.
Yeah, like what you're just doing, like right there. Yes, oh my god, you perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all about flow.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like you can like not even know any special moves and just like a character's like fighting style and the way they do their hits, and you can still beat the game and be pretty, be successful at it.
No, come on.
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess the other thing too that I kind of feel like, as far as like in the emulation world, that there's so many devices that focus on like the higher end emulation. I kind of feel like the fact that Blaze focuses on the lower end of emulation, kind of like the analog, how the Analog Pocket does that too. But yes, except it's hardware emulation, but it's still they kind of focus on that. They kind of focus on like that same genre as well. So it kind of makes it a little bit more special. Like it's nice that there's some devices that are kind of focused on like the 8, the 16-bit, the 32-bit, and all that. Because I think now that we can play Glover, like I think like it'll make that cart like really special.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of the other thing. Like so we'll see what Blaze has in store in the future. But yeah, what is it? I want to say that we shouldn't see another like different like console that's on us before like 2026.
Introducing another console.
Yeah, another ecosystem. Yeah, I think that definitely. I think we still need the rest of 2024 and 2020. I think we still need like another 2 years. There's so many more arcades and computer, some of the computer collections and oddities. Like I think they need to, and indies and all that. I think they need to explore. They still need to explore all that.
Well, yeah. Well, and again, though, it's the opportunity of the licensing. So I think that dictates it more than anything else.
Definitely.
Can they get it? Does the door open? And they've been proven that's what's going to make them walk through.
Heck yeah. I think what's great, and I think one of the reasons why they also went with like Glover to kind of see like, hey, can we take something with a source code and port it over? Because they don't have to spend the time and the money in investing in a new console just to like start to have those games. And so I think they're kind of saying like, hey, if we can, to your point, actually, Rich, you bring up a great point. If maybe they'll go after those certain license deals and that can be a condition, they'll say, hey, we really want this game. Do you own the source code to it? Because we'd like to, can we get that from it? Because we'd really like to port it over.
Yep. Yeah, and then not even have to the original dev wouldn't even have to do much.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll take care of it.
Exactly. They just have to give them the source code, and I think the source code. I think that's great. I'm fed up with Analog in their business model. Let's make 7 of each color, sell 6 of them to eBay resellers. You know what? So here's the kind of I agree with you, Mr. Shua. Like, I hate their business model. They're like the gatekeepers of any like friggin' in the retro world, right? How they. I kind of feel like, that they'll just pop up whenever, kind of sell whenever they want, however long they want. For example, like the glow in the dark one, like I guess that was neat, but I don't really like the default shell. Like glow in the dark things when they don't glow in the dark, I don't think they look as good. But these things aren't cheap, so and let's face it, they're going to be like $300 USD with like shipping and tax. But let's say I could only afford to get one of them. I would have been so mad if I jumped on the thing and gotten the glow in the dark one when like I really wanted one of the other cooler colors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that they did that. Maybe like why can't they just sell like shells or like face plates? I don't. And then you go to eBay and they're flooded with resellers, and it's almost like they manufacture that market, and it is pretty disgusting. Matter of fact, I was kind of surprised that they actually allowed to have like open cores and all that, because I would have thought maybe they wanted people to buy like their other modules. Yeah. And all that. But so that's kind of another thing too, where this is just kind of my opinion on it. That I think people still forget that analog, like it's still emulation. It's hardware emulation. Like an FP, like the funny thing is sometimes people will say like an FPGA or like a clone console is original hardware, which it's not, right? That's I think there's that misconception. Is even like the funny playing Game Boy Color, like there's still like some compatibility issues. In other words, anything that's not original hardware, there's still some trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not we love emulation, but I think sometimes there's this whole mentality. Well, if it's not hardware emulation, it's not So the point I'm trying to make, I think for me personally, if you don't have a lot of carts to use with it, and it's funny, like I think I've heard other YouTubers say, then you're probably better off buying like a cheaper, emulation device that can play all those other systems, and all that.
Yep.
I mean, the Analog Pocket, it does have a great screen and all that, but I think like that device was mainly made so you can buy physical carts. But the one thing I think is cool is that you can do both. Like, let's say you're like, you know what? I think it's kind of neat that I can play some arcade games like Pac-Man on it, and at the same time I can pop in my Game Boy carts. I think that's neat. Like it's capable It's capable of both. Just like the same thing, like for getting the Polymega, I kind of think it's dumb if like you just like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and burn like my favorite 100 games and copy the CDs over. I'm like, well, there's other ways you can do that.
Right.
Now, but again, I could see doing a bit, I could see doing both where it's like, hey, I really want to play this TurboGrafx 16 game. It is just too damn expensive no matter what region. I could see doing that like Rich, I would never fault like selectively if you're like, hey, here are these like 10 here are these like 10 games or whatever that are too expensive that I want to see. I think that's fine. It's just like I wouldn't want to treat it as like a ROM dump, like just put like 1,000 games on there. Like
unless you own them.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but even though like but there are like some games that are just like so super expensive. Like if you really let's say like Castlevania for like the TurboGrafx 16 version, even though there are like cheaper remakes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, hey, I would love just to play this in the Polymega ecosystem. I don't have it; it's too expensive. Like I think that's fine to do like a mixture of both. I mean, people can do whatever they want. I'm just saying, but if you're buying a device that's mainly meant to play physical games, but then you jailbreak it, I don't see the point, except one exception, and that is like using flash carts and original hardware. Like, because I've gone back and forth. Like, if you have like a Game Boy, you're like, hey, I want to have the physical thing, but I want to bring all my games with me. Or like even like a Nintendo or Genesis, if you're like, hey, I want to use the real controllers, I want the feel of the real system. It's more expensive to do that. Like I totally get that. And again, none of these ways are wrong. I'm just saying it could be like a little bit silly when there's different options. Like I'll even kind of throw it out there, like the 2600 plus, right? Like if you own that, I can kind of think it's silly to jailbreak it because that's designed for physical cards. When you could just get like the game, and actually with the Game Station, and they've done updates where you can add in like your own custom ROMs and text. You know what I mean? And you'll get like a better interface. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And you can still have like the 2600 controllers.
Yeah.
Again, I would never shame somebody. I would never like shame somebody for doing that. But I'm just saying like it just seems like it would be silly. Unless you're like if you have unlimited disposable income, of course people can do whatever they want. But I'm just saying it would just be like a little bit silly. And maybe that just kind of goes back using the device intended. Not that you can't, but you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
Wouldn't be something a reseller analog themselves selling $200 for 1,000 on eBay. Oh my god, are you talking about like the Analog Duo? Are they selling those for $1,000 on eBay, Mr. Shua? That's nuts. Let me pop over to the eBays. Like pockets. What if I do Analog Duo? Or maybe he's talking about the systems that aren't available anymore. What if I just type in Analog Console? Oh, there's a brand new Analog Duo for $299. The pockets like $300, $350. They're kind of like all over the place. Oh, okay. I know what. No, the limited color. Yeah, or you might be talking about. Yeah, I know. Like you did a video where you were talking about like the NT Noir and all that. Like, is it worth like $500? Which I think was like some great talking points. But yeah, or like the analog Super Nintendo. They're wanting like $400. Well, I think it's like okay. So let's analog. Okay, let's analog pocket. If I can type today, pocket. Let's do like a search for like blue. I put poke it. Okay, like this one, they want 330. Lightly, really? That's for a used one, huh? 330 sealed. 330. 344, 365, 350. I was like, that's just kind of funny. 330. Open box. They're 379. Yeah, they're wow. 389, 390. Yeah, they're all over the. Ooh, gee, 465. Okay, yeah, the limited. Oh, I see. Those. Ooh. Hold on. You do limited. You've piqued. Yeah, you've piqued my interest. 600, yeah. Holy crap! Yeah, let's see. 279. Oh, that's like sealed. If that's a legit, well, 173. See, that's a legit. Slightly used 216. Yeah, there was a time when I was keeping track, and it's just kind of, they're kind of all over the place. What cracks me up is when you see the listing before, like, that's what's kind of disgusting with Analog Pocket. Like, you'll see the listing before, like, legit people that bought it had it in their hands. Like, they're like, hey, they kind of guess when they'll get it. 330, 350. Or, yeah, that one. Okay, yeah, that transparent. That's what I wanted to see. That transparent purple. Dang.
Yeah.
360. And then those other colors. Yeah, the Hello Kitty. Looking like one. Here's one, the limited colors, multiple colors, like 349. Like, how are they getting all these? Huh. That's so weird when you see that. Yeah, so. No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of the thing you can't like pick one up at any time. No, but that's definitely pretty much every YouTuber that I've seen. They're like, hey, these things are quality, they're made good. It's just the company themselves, their business practices are disgusting. It's like everybody hates the company, but they like the product. Yeah. But like, what's kind of weird? It's kind of funny because I love like Mad Little Pixel will get on the soapbox, and I agree with him. Like, what's on this part? Which is here's what's strange. Most like every other company, you can reserve. Like, you remember in the beginning with Steam, you could like put $5 or $10. You could like. I don't know why they just don't let anybody who wants them order it and be put on a wait list, and you put some money down. It's not. I don't know.
Oh, for Analog?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. And then
I think the development team or something, they had some kind of aversion to that business model.
Yeah. It's like sell the customer what they actually want when they. I don't know. It's kind of a weird. But I think it too depends on what you want to play. I think for me, like if they had like an FPGA Game Boy Advance, that even if it wasn't backwards compatible with if it was just Game Boy Advance, like that would be awesome. I would be, and if it could emulate or do Game Boy like perfectly, and it would be like in the like if they could do the same thing, like $80, you get this, you put it together yourself with an IPS screen and a nice shell. I would be down for that. And even if it didn't have flash card compatibility, but again, the neat thing about this is there never would be any firmware. So I don't know. It's it's kind of a weird thing. But then it's cool that Analog does have firmware to do different things. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it all depends on what you want, portability, and all that type of stuff. Oh, dude, yeah, totally. No, I want that. I want Funny Playing to make to make that and have it be around like the same price. That would be amazing, because then it kind of changes things. We're like, hey, you can just put it together. You don't have to do any soldering. Your average Joe can do that, and then you can pop in carts. Because I have a few like the multi cart. Like I have like the Namco collection, the Konami collection. That has like Russian Attack on it, and then there's like another, like the other one for Frogger. I can't remember. There's a few of those. Like I have enough physical cards. Like alone for the Activision collection would keep me. It would be worth it. It would be worth it for that to be able. Because the odd thing is, because that collection is a little bit darker, because like a lot of Atari games have those darker colors that just like you need a brighter screen. That's why like. I think when I played like Sequest on my Steam Deck, I'm like, oh my god, I can actually see the guy. Or like if you've seen people like Tim from like Tim's Tiny Arcade and other, and like play that on his 2600 plus, which my god, like all those games look gorgeous. I'm like, man, you can actually see them,
right?
So yeah, you're the you're the panda.
Yep.
So yeah, no, that would be amazing. I think they have like drop-in kits for regular. Just regular Game Boy Advances, but yeah, I wouldn't mind if they did that. And that's why I said it wouldn't even have to be backwards compatible, because I think I would still want one of each, because you get the different aspect ratios you know, for the GBA and the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And all that. But I will say, like, definitely, like playing Game Boy Advance on a Steam Deck looks beautiful because it nearly fills like the whole screen because it's like the right aspect ratio. I mean, same with the other things. But so here's kind of another silly thing with that. Like, I can't just set like my Steam Deck down on my desk, like the Super Pocket. I can, and this. So sometimes it's nicer just to have a device. And here's the other thing. Maybe because this is all scruffy and all that, I'm not nearly as paranoid. I don't have to worry about it getting scratched. I just wish it had a better. Yeah. So it could be part of that. I just wish it had a better screen. Yeah, with FPGA boards and and again that other device so there's a streamer Mikio Miko. I think he does a lot of cool like Game Boy Advance mods, and so I was like, actually, you know what's kind of funny? It's kind of imagine if you were watching like Crow doing like that kind of tinkering. It's kind of funny, except he does except he's a lot more messy. Like he'll just like set stuff around, which is kind of. But he will like geekily go in. Oh yeah, let me make sure I am saying his name or his channel right because I hate it. I'm subbed to way too many people. Like looking at my YouTube, and there's some people like have never made like another video, which is kind of funny. Yes, this guy. Here, let me share. Yeah, this guy. Mako, or is it? I call it Makio or Mako. I don't know, but his channel he mainly does like live stuff. But he'll like do all types of like tinkering. That's what I kind of said. Like if you just like kind of think of like a Crow without a beard who's like really messy. But it's kind of like his, it's just kind of like his style. Like it's funny. He's like even so like people will just like see me putting stuff around. Like it triggers some people's OCD. But yeah, he'll test out like the newer things, and like he tried to like use like an LED kit which won't work in the FPGA boards. But yeah, like the funny playing FPGA version 1.1, like he'll just do a bunch of different testing and all that. So stuff like this, like I kind of like to watch like late at like sometimes like late at night, like if you want to like fall asleep on the couch, like type of thing. What did I say? You missed line above. When was it in your timeline? When was what in my timeline, Mr. Shua? Shoot, what did I miss? When was what in my timeline? Yeah. I feel like Retro Ralph, so you'll need to elaborate on that. Oh God, I miss his like live streams and coffee talk because it's funny because he like easily gets like distracted, and so it's great. Like he'll like jump all over the. Actually, if he was here, he would think it'd be funny. Like I'm having a Retro Ralph moment. And all that. But yeah, explain what you mean. When what was in my timeline? I'm curious. The Retro Game Repair Shop.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, speaking of being distracted, actually. Hey, remembers. Yeah, I still love StreamYard. So I was gonna say, so love StreamYard, and I love the channel members who are part of Rich's channel because you all make this possible. Like we were just like talking about that
that's
too.
Right.
Like, yeah,
that's right. Yes, this is
like,
all thanks to the GTC.
Yeah, really, we really appreciate it because not only, obviously, Rich uses it for his channel. We use it for Karg. Whenever I go live streaming, I'm using it, and I've started to use it like for other videos, and it saves a lot of time and makes things like easy, but like without the support of channel members, it's like it would be like grossly expensive. You know what I mean? So that's kind of it's near the bottom. What did I miss? What did I miss, Mr. Shua? What did I miss?
Was there one that didn't make it into StreamYard?
No, because he said I skipped a line, and then he said, when was it in your timeline? And then I was asking, when was what? Oh, with FPGA boards? Is that what you mean?
Round.
I sent you the link on X. Oh. Thanks for letting me know. Joshua sent you a link.
Oh, that's good.
I am so stupid. Watch this. Watch this. Okay. He's like, yeah. Okay. When I share it, and this is the problem with those of us who are neurodivergent struggle with, is that he told me he said retro repair. He said the retro repair game shop. And I took it literal as a retro repair game shop. So that's why I say sometimes, I would say with a, so neurodivergency, like struggle with when things are literal. But yeah, I took that too much at face value. So thank you so much for sending. That makes more sense. That's why I said I knew it was me. Okay, so the retro. Oh, okay. So the funny playing. What do they have? Midnight Trace. Oh, GBA flash card. Oh, are those cards you can? Wait, like reflash, like. Oh, okay, yeah. Like you can just like flash it and it stores like one game at a time. Oh yeah, that's like pretty cool. Funny playing portable cart. Flash your Burnmaster. What is this? Of course, it's unavailable, but it looks like it's cool.
Yeah, all of that's very cool.
What else? Let's see, Nintendo. Oh, dang! Also, if we click on the SP, wow, you can get like everything. Console parts. I wonder if custom consoles. That's what I was. 8-bit aesthetics. Looking for. Oh, okay. For the coolest shell, but still though, that's pretty neat. Retro. Okay, yeah, retro game. Yeah, I think actually. Like this is okay. Yeah, this is one of the main ones that a lot of other YouTubers use. Sorry, it's made me feel old. It's like 10:17 here. You know what? I've heard this funny. I've heard this mentioned a lot. Like another. I don't think I've ever gone to their site here. But yeah, lots of cool geeky.
That's very cool.
Oh,
you can just buy all the parts and build your own Game Boy. That's very cool.
Okay, you know what though? So you can actually just buy the motherboard by its. Okay, it's unavailable. I didn't know. Okay, Funny Playing only sells you the kits, but this you can actually buy it. Yeah, to your part, like part by part, piece by piece. That's very cool. He's like, yeah, I totally get it with the same boat. Cool. It's why he's like, you could literally build an FPGA. That's like, see, dude, this like this is like one of. So this is what like I love about like just going live and talking to you all, like whether it's with us here on Carg, whether it's by myself or whether we have Evercast, is like stuff like this. Like I love geeking out over like cool things that people show an interest in share. That's what I'm trying to say. Like on my own, I wouldn't have thought, but it's like so much fun. And then here in Carg, it's like it's the Wild West. I mean, sometimes we'll have like an agenda and have topics and have guests. But yeah, I love like tonight. Like you guys have solely brought up all the like I brought up like this to kind of start things off, and then that led to the Polymega. Like these are me and Rich's like favorite type of shows where like literally we just like have no agenda, and it just other than having guests, of course, and we just like things just happen.
Yeah, no, it's the best.
That's what I'm trying to.
So
I'm trying to say,
but just like all good things,
right?
All good things must come to an end.
We're getting to that. We're getting to that 2 hour.
Oh, it is 100% pumpkin time for me.
That's how I kind of feel on my own stream, even like when it like after like the hour and 45-minute mark.
Yeah.
Because I just put all my energy and I love it, but I just feel like tired.
Well, that and the fact that I was just like staring at that Nina fight, and I'm like, I'm playing as Panda. There's no way I should be able to get beaten that badly by the CPU.
Right.
Even though I am shaking off the rust, I'm pretty good at this game, and I'm like, I'm just getting owned by Nina, and I'm like, nah, I'm tired. It's time to go.
Yeah.
So,
but definitely kind of going back to I think what Mr. Shua brought up about as far as members, yes, would definitely be better. But once we get down to 500 subs, I'd imagine there'll be many texts sent back and forth between me and Rich and some like offline like working sessions on what we want to do
we'll figure stuff out
to make this to make this like the most fun.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll do that, and then I think on my own channel, I think at some point I may ask for y'all's feedback on what would you like to see in a shirt, because I don't know. I know I need to make my own shirt at some point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and back in the beginning of the show, I guess Mr. Sure was like, "Oh yeah, we need to get that bacon ice cream merch." Well, it's out there if you can find it.
Oh, there you go.
I do have a T Public. It's there. So
it might even be linked from your channel too.
It might be. It might actually be. It's probably. You know what though? It's probably not. I'm terrible at that self promotion stuff. So, but yeah, there is a T Public. It's out there. You can look up by artist, and the artist is Bacon Ice Cream Productions, and then there's all sorts of fun stuff. And then every once in a while, some of our neighborhood YouTube brethren runs around in a shirt, and it's pretty good. Friend of the channel and channel member, the Intellivision Gamer himself. He was rocking a BIC shirt the other day, which is pretty cool. Pete's got one, even though he's not on camera.
Right. Yeah.
And who else was I think I want to say Mike from NLG. He's got one. Yeah, I gotta go start taking. Yeah, it's there. It's around.
You know what's neat with the Television Gamer has been actually like whenever I've been going streaming, like they pop up there and I'm assuming Evercast, and same with all like the same faces.
Oh yeah, all these everybody here is great. It's awesome because this is the cool time. We just get to hang out. So speaking of
friends, forgot about the
ad. Wait, which ad?
Yeah.
Which ad?
An ad for of witches.
I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about that. So yeah, obviously, Evercast will be Saturday. We will slowly. I mean, I know we keep saying it. We will do more content for this channel. We're gonna like redo the intro and all that fun, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be working on that.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do for next week. I might do a recap more on like the Duke 2-cart saga.
Yeah.
I might follow up with Good Boy Galaxy, and then some point in between there, I do need to do a teardown of the At Legends mini gamer that Fan of Fiction sent me, and see if I just resetting everything can fix that, and then I want to test that on the live stream.
You mean in the description, in my video description? Because if so, like, oh yeah, I will totally do that. Yes, it's just that I'm too used to copy paste. I forgot to do the edit. Yeah, I think that's what I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
100%. Yes, I gotta get you on that list. I got to do that. So speaking of what you were doing, as soon as I do it, the next video I do is actually probably going to be Quamp or Pong 2 on the Atari VCS, because that's out this week.
Oh,
and I'm gonna finally use my. Oh yeah, yes, thanks, and yes, my bad. But yeah, I'm gonna use the free VCS code because Atari gave free VCS games for the next like 3 or 4 days. It's I forget what the code is, but it's like something simple, and you just put it in, and then any game you buy is just free, which is great.
Sweet.
So just one though, one per account.
Yeah.
So
did Balls of Steel
did not? VCS? I don't think that came out on the VCS, but yeah. So yeah, it's Quamp this month, and then I'm gonna say like 100. It's gotta Lunar Lander Beyond has to come out next month because they had that trailer. I was so surprised it didn't come out this month, but they definitely got to drop that soon. So, but yeah, so I'm going to be doing that, playing some more stuff, and buckling down. That full void cart staring me in the face. So I got to get into that. And
yeah.
And then as soon as we get into that, it's just boom. I go right from Evercade right back to SMS, and we start doing Fantasy Star, and then jump from there to the Polymega, do Lunar. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good times with all sorts of crazy stuff in between. So yeah, that is that. So all right, I don't know about you, but it's pumpkin.
Pumpkin time.
So, all right, guys. So thanks everyone so much for hanging out with us, watching, as always. And until next time, we'll catch you right here on Calling Retro Gamers. Rich, Ed, you guys are awesome. And we'll see you next time. See you guys.
Calling all retro gamers.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.